Is it possible that the player who is the key difference in a playoff game featuring multiple future Hall of Famers scores only 6 points? That was the case in Game 6 of the Clippers Nuggets series, while Kawhi Leonard and James Harden combined for 55 points, and Norm Powell had a big game offensively in the Clippers win. The real difference was Nic Batum. I'm going to take a deeper dive into Batum's Game 6 performance and what it could mean for the Clippers in Game 7 and possibly beyond. This is Batum's 17th season in the NBA, and with how much time has passed, it's easy to forget that he was a player ahead of his time. In the first 7 years of his career with the Trailblazers, he fit the mold of a prototypical wing every team would covet today. He displayed the size, length, and movement to defend various positions, and shot above league average from three during his time in Portland. Batum then signed a 5-year deal with the Hornets, where he had a larger role initially, but didn't have the production they were hoping for. Since then, he's been a role player, primarily with the Clippers, outside of one season with the Sixers. Though the 36-year-old was a solid contributor this regular season, his best work has come in the playoffs. As I've said in prior videos, the playoffs can be all about matchups. In Batum's case, this is one where he fits right in. The Clippers have drastically improved defensively this year, though while a player like Chris Dunn is a fantastic defender and was a huge part of that, things can change in the postseason. Dunn's going to be someone opposing teams dare to shoot threes, and they could go after him to try and hunt for size advantages. Batum eliminates both of those risks, and while it's a smaller sample size over a series, you can't argue the results. Of the Clippers' foremost played lineups through 6 games, Batum has been in 3 of them, and at minimum, those lineups have outscored the Nuggets by 8 points per 100 possessions. Batum started the second half of Game 6 for Dunn, and it immediately made a difference on the offensive end, as Ivica Zubac catches the ball here. It's worth noting this is the Clippers' first offensive possession of the second half. Zubac has the ball around the top of the key, and you can see Nick setting the screen for James Harden near the right wing to help him work towards the ball. Harden gets it, and now you see the pressure he applies is on display. Jokic stays on the ball after the handoff, Michael Porter Jr. runs to him, and Zubac quickly rolls into the paint off the handoff. This puts Christian Braun in a tough spot defensively. We've consistently seen the two-man game of Harden and Zubac, but Batum's a drastically better shooter than Dunn, who he replaced in the lineup. Braun works towards Zubac, and Batum, noticing this, starts relocating to the three-point line, which Harden recognizes as, despite the two defenders on the ball, finds him for the open three that he knocks down. Nick can also be used as a shooter out of pick and pop, which the Clippers can incorporate in smaller lineups, though he can do the little things as a passer too. Norman Powell is getting downhill here, and as he tries to make a pass to Zubac, it's deflected. Now with the ball on the floor, this is an example of how hard it is to defend in the NBA. Even after making a deflection, a defense could be putting itself at a disadvantage. Zubac gets the ball, and as he looks towards Batum, notice Powell with both feet in the paint starting to relocate to the right corner. Zubac passes it to Nick, and due to the scramble, has 2 defenders in his general vicinity. Though look at how immediately after the catch, Batum is already passing with anticipation to Powell in the right corner. This is a great example of .5 basketball, which emphasizes players making a decision in half a second. It makes a huge difference, as Powell gets a clean look and responds by knocking down the triple. Here's something that speaks to the 36-year-old's defensive versatility. Do you know what players Batum spent the most time defending in Game 6 according to the NBA's tracking data? Jokic and Jamal Murray. There aren't many players you could trust defending one of, let alone both of them, the majority of their time on the floor. As Christian Braun has the ball, notice Jamal Murray is around the right block, defended by number 55 Derrick Jones Jr. Batum is in a comparable spot on the opposite side, defending Nikola Jokic. As Murray comes off the Peyton Watson screen under the basket, you could see how that screen could result in switching. Though as Jones works through the Jokic screen and Brown's passes in the air, Batum senses this early and quickly rotates to Murray. Now that Murray has the ball, this looks like a potential advantage, as Derrick Jones is still working towards Jamal, and Bogdan Bogdanovic is going to give up size rotating to help on Jokic. Though the length of Batum against Murray helps eliminate that, as he deflects the pass and it leads to a steal. Jokic brings the ball up here and looks like he wants to get in the pick and roll with Russell Westbrook as the screener, though he goes away from that and passes it to Jamal Murray, who is guarded by Batum. Jokic then comes over to set a screen, but Murray goes away from it, though Batum is on his back and Zubats is dropping into the paint. Noticing this, Murray makes the bounce pass to Jokic, but notice that Batum, once the pass is made, is rotating immediately. By the time Jokic gets the ball, Batum is right in front of him, and he has more size than the typical defender who would be switching from Murray. Nick stays in front of the Joker, and by the time he gets in the paint, two other Clippers defenders rotated to help. This didn't count in the box score as a block for Batum, but he played a massive role in taking away what's typically a huge mismatch. So what should we expect from Batum in Game 7? I'm not sure if he will start like he did in the second half of Game 6, but I'd expect him to at least play similar minutes. Batum's game fits well with a variety of players, as we've seen in the five-man lineups this series. And the trio of him, James Harden, and Kawhi Leonard have outscored the Nuggets by nearly 15 points per 100 possessions when sharing the floor this series. The winner of this series will face the Thunder, and against a bigger team, Batum's blend of defensive versatility, shooting, and doing the little things could be even more valuable. While NBA rosters can skew younger, it's always impressive seeing players like Batum show when called upon they can still impact winning at a high level like he has this series. Now the Clippers are hoping this can carry on not only in Game 7, but for a deeper postseason run. If you made it this far, thank you, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on my in-depth analysis throughout the 2025 NBA playoffs.